People act like marriage is the finish line. Like, no matter what you've accomplished, if you're not married, you're still in progress. And if you are married, congratulations, you've leveled up, you've made it. That mindset is everywhere. It's in family conversations, Instagram captions, even job interviews where someone asks, "Are you married?" Like it's some measure of stability. But here's what I need you to know. When you internalize that marriage is the measure, you unconsciously start building your life around that benchmark. And anything that doesn't lead to that benchmark, you'll see it as a failure, even if it's freedom, even if it's healing, even if it's joy. What I want to do in this video is not bash marriage, not at all. But I do want to unhook it from that pedestal it's been placed on, because a pedestal is still a trap if it keeps you from walking your own path. You are not unfinished just because you're not married, and you're not complete just because someone claims you. Let's talk about it. Somewhere along the way, women got taught, whether directly or indirectly, that marriage is the ultimate upgrade. You could have a degree, a home, a healed heart, a peace of mind. But if you're not a wife, people will still say she's doing well, but she ain't married yet. That belief didn't come out of nowhere. It was passed down through generations, from grandmothers who had no choice, to mothers who stayed longer than they should have, to daughters who now feel like they're running out of time. But what happens when we question that inheritance? What happens when we ask, why is this the measure? Who made this goal the standard of a woman's success? And why do we let it overshadow every other form of growth? Marriage became a proxy for arrival, but real arrival, that happens the moment you come home to yourself, not when someone else invites you into their home. There's a quiet lie being sold that once you get married, you'll feel chosen, safe, fulfilled, that your life will finally begin. But you know how many women cross that finish line only to feel lonelier, smaller, or more lost than ever? Because marriage doesn't erase emptiness, it exposes it. And when you chase marriage as proof of worth, you'll end up in contracts you were never emotionally prepared for, just to silence the noise of being single. What if marriage was never supposed to be the goal? What if it's just one expression of love, not the evidence of value? Arrival has to start within. Because if you don't feel whole now, no title, no ring, no partner will ever fill that gap. You can't outsource self worth. Let's call it what it is. Marriage is often treated like a social upgrade. Oh, she got a man. Oh, she a wife now. Suddenly people treat you like you're more mature and more stable and more grounded, even if none of that is true behind closed doors. And when society views marriage as a badge of honor, you start wearing depression like perfume. You start filtering every moment of your life through the lens of, will this get me chosen? You start building a life for optics, not for authenticity. But there's a danger in chasing elevation through attachment, because when the relationship breaks, your whole sense of self worth crumbles with it. That's not growth. That's codependence disguised as achievement. You don't become high value because someone picked you. You were high value before anyone ever entered the room. Let's talk about the stigma. When a woman hits 30, 35, 40, and she's unmarried, people get concerned. They start whispering, they start questioning, as if her wholeness has an expiration date. You could be traveling the world, healing generational wounds, building businesses, finding your rhythm, and yet, the moment someone finds out you're single, it's like all of that disappears. The only thing they see is the missing ring. But here's what I need you to hold on to. Singleness is not a waiting room. It's not a holding cell. It's not a death sentence. It's not some punishment for not being chosen fast enough. It's a full chapter, a necessary one. Sometimes the most powerful women are the ones who chose to stop rushing. Your life doesn't begin at the altar. It begins the moment you stop waiting to be validated. Society benefits when you believe marriage is the ultimate goal. It keeps women striving, it keeps them compromising, and keeps them molding themselves into palatable versions of femininity in hopes of being picked. And while marriage is beautiful, it's God ordained, it's a covenant, it's meant to reflect love, partnership, and purpose. It's often been reduced to a status symbol, something to prove you're valuable instead of something to steward with intention and grace. Even in faith spaces, marriage is sometimes misused as a marker of maturity or a blessing, but that's not the full truth. He who finds a wife finds a good thing. Proverbs 18:22 is often a scripture weaponized to suggest that a woman's worth is unlocked only through a man's pursuit. But that verse speaks to the man's gain in finding a good thing, not the woman's lack before she's found. And remember, to everything there is a season, Ecclesiastes 3:1. Singleness isn't a setback. It's a sacred season. It's a time to build and to hear God clearly, to prepare in peace instead of panic. Patriarchy has always preferred a woman who centers her identity around being chosen. But when you stop chasing marriage as a measurement and start walking in alignment, you become unshakable. You're no longer defined by whether or not you've been claimed. You're defined by the clarity you carry. They don't fear a woman who's single. They fear a woman who's satisfied in her spirit, her purpose, and her peace. Marriage doesn't guarantee love, and love doesn't require marriage to be real. But in our culture, we treat the ring like a receipt, as if it's proof that love existed. That's how people end up staying in these toxic, one sided, emotionally abusive marriages because they're afraid of how they'll be perceived without the title. They'd rather be respected in public than happy in private. But here's the thing: love is not about optics, it's about connection, growth, safety, freedom. And some of the healthiest, most aligned love stories don't come with the wedding hashtag. If you're going to marry, let it be because it aligns, not because you need proof that you're valuable. You are not late. You are not behind. You are not stuck. You're just walking a different path, one that doesn't bow to deadlines or milestones that were never yours to begin with. Your timeline is sacred. And if marriage isn't a part of it right now, that doesn't make your life any less divine. Maybe your path is asking you to build something bigger first. Maybe your alignment hasn't shown up yet because you're not meant to settle for almost. Don't let pressure make you choose prematurely. You don't owe anyone a husband. You owe yourself a life that feels like truth. Marriage can be beautiful, is beautiful, but not when it comes at the cost of your becoming. Culture says, get married so you can be complete. But calling says, get whole so you don't confuse partnership with purpose. Culture will have you chasing aesthetics, the dress, the photos, the congratulations. But calling will have you doing the internal work, the shadow work, the healing, the rewriting of what you thought love was. You get to decide which voice you follow. Because if you let culture define you, you'll end up lost in a role you never auditioned for. This season of your life might not look like everyone else's. And that's exactly what makes it divine. It's what makes it yours. So, no, marriage is not the measure. Peace is, clarity is, wholeness is. You level up every time you choose alignment over anxiety, self worth over settling, and truth over tradition. You are not valuable because someone chose you. You're valuable because you exist. And when the time is right, love will align with that value, not define it. Let them whisper, let them talk, let them wonder. You're not behind, you're building. And when it's built, it'll be too solid to shake. Marriage might be a milestone, but you are the main event.